really impressive for those guys, those young guys in the secondary, to be able to take advantage of the opportunity. KJ Kirkland continues to flash, and doing some good things. And then, obviously, offensively, I thought that some of the plays that were made on third downs, some of those cash down situations were big. Some guys that you really stepped up. I mean, I was so proud of Jalen Early. Coming off of his first start, which was kind of unexpected. Just there in the Memphis game where obviously some challenges showed up, but I thought he came out and played at a very high level here this last week. It was unfortunate. Rob couldn't go. Obviously, JB was not ready. I think both those guys have an opportunity to be back here this week. But to see Jalen and taking the week of preparation and just the mentality of how he played, I recognized him. There in front of the team because they were just really proud of what he was able to do in that moment. You saw guys like Ja'Kai Douglas, who's been really good for us over the years. But I mean, a couple big third down catches. Obviously the touchdown there at the end. I mean, it was a great connection. There in that moment, and we had to have that play. I thought the run game really showed some life. I mean, that was a good Cal defense, and obviously the front seven, they've been very strong, this early part of the year, and I thought our guys were able to create some run seams. There were some things that we still get to clean up and build upon, but I mean it was good to see that the run game getting established, and we did miss some explosive opportunities, where we got to be better. To drop, had a missed opportunity to connect vertically down the field, but. All in all, I mean, I thought it was a good team win, and I thought that the special teams, there was some good and bad that we get to continue to work through, but overall, I thought Alex was remarkable in helping flip the field, and just our coverage of Ryan continues to be great, in his kickoffs, and just get to continue to build upon a lot of those areas. Our return game, we need, I think we're close. I think we gotta get a spark there, but but excited about the week that's ahead, and we have to go on the road, ACC. Conference game is the first ACC game for SMU. I know it's going to be a great atmosphere, there for them, kicking off, their new start in the conference, but, a lot of respect for their coaching staff, the guys that are there, and, they got a talented team, coming off a big win for them, this last weekend in rivalry games. So, we got to have a great week of preparation. I know our guys are excited to build off of some of the things that we saw and experienced this last week. But there's no question about it. We got to go get better, in every area. And I know our guys, they got off to a great start with that last night. And I felt that urgency, there in practice last night. So we got to carry that over here tomorrow.
All right, first question will be Ira, second row on your right.
You guys, even though you had only scored 7 points at the half, you'd moved the ball well. You didn't capitalize on some of those opportunities. What's the key to kind of finishing some of those drives?
Well, we got down into the red zone, had the turnover, and that was it was just a bad play. I mean, it was one that we can't have the interception down there. Obviously we had a couple negatives that forced in a long yardage situation, but I thought we did move the ball. It's just it's a consistency, making sure that we're executing there on the third down. We had a couple penalties that ended a drive where that where we were forced to kick, but I mean those were you started to feel a little bit of rhythm there in the first half, but it's still about, being able to go down and finish. And, I mean, I can't have the turnover, but, I thought that was something that was productive, coming out in the third quarter, obviously, you had opportunity there, early in the third quarter. But I mean, I think we had 2 3-and-outs to start off the second half, and we can't have that. And I mean, we're trying to establish things in the run game, and we're close on a couple of plays when it comes to that. But obviously we got to be better when we get started. I thought that there in the drive, the third to the fourth quarter was good for us. It was something that we needed. We had to have a couple third down conversions that showed up, but it felt good to see the offense getting rhythm. But we got to finish drives, and the name of the game is scoring points and putting our guys in the best position to be successful. So obviously we got to continue to work and make sure that we're doing that.
You mentioned in your opening statement about a different energy and preparation, and a couple of the guys after the game mentioned the same thing. Was there anything in particular you saw in their prep last week that kind of changed that for you?
Well, I mean, I thought they had fun competing. I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, it was, I can't sit here and say this team has not worked. I mean, I do believe that they've worked in practice. I believe they've been trying to get better, but it is still a different mentality when you feel that edge and that urgency and that was the thing that kind of stood out. There was good plays and bad plays in practice of last week, mistakes that were made, but there was an urgency and enjoyment for that work, and seeing guys going at each other and competing with each other, but all with the a positive mindset of what we get to do. And when you face disappointing results, it's at times, I mean, you want it so bad, you go out there and you work and everything's, you could just grind through the work. But I mean, I thought just the, that mentality was really special. And I mean, it was something that I told our team before the game, it was motivating to me to watch them come out and prepare the way that they did, just with the mindset that they had. And it's something you want, you desire, you ask for, but they made the choice to. And I was very confident in what it would look like, and that's where I mean, I felt us play like we're accustomed to playing here at Florida State. It was hard. It was there was energy, there was excitement. I mean, obviously we had an incredible atmosphere with our crowd. I mean, it was a fun game to be a part of, and just with all the different elements that showed up. I mean, those guys responded, and but I thought it was the response in the week of practice that prepared them for that.
As a play caller, how do you balance going tempo versus, playing at a little bit slower pace? First half, it seemed like you guys established some things with tempo, but I know you can't do that constantly.
It's obviously you have to be able to just extend drives, sustain drives. The explosive plays, helps that in some aspects. We had a couple of the early we were able to pop a couple early runs that you get into that rhythm, and it's one of those things that I think is important for us to be able to establish, and it's something that we're working hard at, because I think that you see the success that we can have when we get into that rhythm and to be able to play with tempo, but it's still a consistency of execution, making sure that we're taking what the defense has given us, and then when we get our opportunities to have an explosive play, when we get an opportunity to push the ball down the field, whether it's in a run game, whether it's in a passing game, we got to take advantage of that. And there were probably 10 plays in that game offensively where you could take all different leads. Whether it was a read at quarterback, a track by a running back, a leverage from blocking. They did a good job of mixing their fronts and things like that. But just trusting what you see and the quick reactions of what has to show up. All those things were different elements where, and it is. I see progress. It's about the final execution of it, and we had a drop ball on a potential explosive that was big. I mean, those are the things that have to be cleaned up, just so we can jump into the rhythm and make sure that we're pushing the tempo and playing and attacking the way that we want to.
Is the plan to keep utilizing DJ at quarterback moving forward? And if so, what are things that you're seeing from him that you feel like you can build on, productively?
Definitely not changing his position. So, okay. Yes. Now he's yes. I mean, obviously, we all get have the opportunity to go out and get better, and that's going to be the push throughout the course of this week. There were some good things that DJ did, in some very critical moments, and there were things where he has to be better. And it's the same for guys across the board. And we're going to continue to push, continue to evaluate what we have to do in every area, and not just at quarterback and across the board. We got to go score points. We've got to be better offensively than what we've been. It's a challenge for every person, coaches, players, all of us. And so we're going to continue to push to do everything in our power to make sure that becomes the reality of how we operate.
Coach, I wanted to ask you about two decisions during the game. First, going forward on 4th and 7, how come you didn't kick the field goal or punt? And then in the second half, Lily said about a fake punt return. Can you kind of talk about that a little bit as well?
Well, on the 4th and 7, it was going to be a 56-yard field goal. I mean, that's kind of the max range, just with elements of what it was, there for Ryan. I thought our defense was playing really well. Felt very confident in, obviously the belief that we would go and get the first down. Obviously, it did not happen, but we've been really good in 4th downs this year, and ultimately, it didn't work out on that situation. The defense, they did get a field goal, there before the half, but I've got confidence in our team. I got confidence in the guys, trying to, I don't go into it thinking, oh my God, I hope this doesn't happen, or hope that doesn't happen. It's the belief in what you do and how you train and all elements of it. And I believed even if we didn't get it, that we would get a stop defensively. And obviously it's that I want to put our guys in the best position to be successful. And I think we've shown a lot of confidence in Ryan in that moment, but I felt that I liked where we were. I thought that if we get the first down, got an opportunity to go down there and and potentially score a touchdown. And like I said, that didn't work out, but we held them to a field goal, still went in with the lead there at halftime, and unfortunately, it didn't work out the way we wanted it to in that situation.
You spoke on a couple banged up guys earlier in your opening at running back. Obviously, Roy Dell was unavailable on Saturday. What's his prognosis moving forward?
He'll be out for probably an extended period. We have to continue to evaluate what that looks like. It's unfortunate for him, but it does open up a great opportunity for some of those younger guys. And I thought LT did an outstanding job, there in the game. And then you saw Cam Davis, which got banged up a little bit in the game, was able to come back. Sam Singleton was able to get some work. Mekhi Danzy is really pushing, throughout. And then obviously Keziah Holmes. I mean, I think that running back core is still a very talented group. It's unfortunate that, we're going to be without Roy Dell for a little while. And, obviously, Jalen Lucas being out, for the year. I mean, those are two really good players. But I think I'm very confident in the group that we have and what they'll be able to do. But you will see a little bit more of those younger guys as we push forward. Like I mentioned, with Rob and JB, I do think that those guys should be in a pretty good shape to be able to be available this week. And there was a good push, there towards the end of last week. But you feel good about where that's trending.
You mentioned Jalen early at the top of this. What did you like about his performance? What stood out, and how can he build on that moving forward?
Yeah, it was funny because I think he had a little bit of nerves going into the game. Because the week prior, you're going to come out of the pregame tunnel, or you're coming out of the tunnel going to the game, and that's where you're starting. And we had to move some things around, and so there wasn't really much time to think and prep. And that's where we always tell guys, you have to be ready for your moment. You never know when it's going to show up. And I think that was kind of a wake-up call. And, I think he would be the first to tell you he didn't play his best game against Memphis. And it was but going into this week, he knew the opportunity, he knew what he had to do. And then, what I loved is even with the nerves they probably had before the game, and, once the game started, man, you felt him playing fast. I mean, he trusted what he saw. It wasn't, there was a mistake here or there, but when he was – when it is a job and responsibility, he did it to the best of his ability. And, he was able to create some space. I thought he did play fast. I thought, he was confident in the things he was being asked to do. And so, like I said, I was proud of him. And I think it's it's a confidence builder because now he can go see in real tangible starting opportunity, that man, he can go be a very high level player. And but now it's bringing that mindset to everything you do, whether you're starting or whether you're not starting. You got to be prepared, and you got to build upon that. And I think that's going to bring a great deal of confidence to him for what the future holds, and obviously the opportunities that will continue to present themselves here this year.
We'll go back right for Adler.
Within like an RPO play with DJ, there's so much going on, obviously, but is he being instructed properly on the keys that he needs to be looking at and reading to make the proper decision, or is he just not making the right decision based on what you guys are instructing him to do?
Give me that question again.
So on the RPO play, there's a lot going on, but
yes,
there's keys given on it. Like you got to look at who's crashing down, the numbers outside, if he's going to throw the ball. Are those things being instructed to him clearly that he's accepting them and processing them well in practice, or
it's everything that happens on the field. I'm responsible for like the execution of what it is. So we've got to do a better job in some of those areas to make sure that, when we have opportunities, whether it's handing the ball, whether it's reading, whether it's pulling and running, that we're taking advantage of what we're getting. And, we're all responsible for that.
We'll go to Kurt, front row on the right.
On the last Cal drive of the first half, how do you talk to Edwin about the penalty? It seemed like a pretty weird play, a weird penalty. And I guess with Edwin too, in a more positive note, the spark he's brought. Are you surprised? It felt like he's brought a spark on special teams and now a spark on defense.
No, I mean, over the last 3 weeks, I think he's grown as much as probably any individual on this team. I mean, and he's making some real even though it might be small in some other areas, but some real tangible efforts, like just of improvement, of growth. And I mean, he loves playing this game. He's a fun player to watch, and definitely somebody that I think has a great future in front of him. The penalty, he's trying to punch the ball. I mean, and ultimately, he doesn't hit a quarterback when he's sliding. There's a lot of judgment calls that come out of it. And I mean, we had 2 personal foul penalties that, they're playing the game, and it's not, if you're trying to punch the ball out, if the ball gets knocked out there, it is a fumble. And so that would have been the case in that play. And then, Maurice got an unnecessary roughness. And it's a hard play, when you're blocking somebody and they're going against you and the ball's behind you and there's no whistle, like to know when that play is stopped. It's just that those are challenging things that we're going to work on the best ways to coach that and the best ways to eliminate, because those are big plays in games. We're able to overcome it with a 3rd and 18, but that's a hard thing to have to overcome. The Edwin, obviously that sparked them better field position, there on that drive, it's a difficult thing with the kid, because he's not going into the quarterback, but yes, we are trying to knock the ball out with every opportunity. So, but I love what I'm seeing from him, and just excited about what his future is going to continue to grow and be.
We'll go back to Ira in second row.
With the way the offense is struggling at times, and since you do have such a good kicker, in hindsight, do you look back at like a couple of those drives late in the first half and think maybe be a little bit more looking to kick a field goal instead of trying to score? Does that ever enter your mind, or can you not look at it?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's all part of, the interception was a bad play. I mean, it was a bad play. I mean, we didn't do a good job. I mean, it was just, that was one that, at the end of the day, we come back later on running the same play later in the game and execute it and put ourselves in a position to have an opportunity to go for it on 4th down. And it was, those are things that we just got to be better in the moment. And, yes, I mean, but with outlets and different options, I mean, there's, you can look at all things when it comes to, play calling and what are you doing in this situation, that situation. But I do have faith in the guys of what we can do, and we proved it within that game of what we could do in a longer yardage situation to be able to put ourselves in a position to go and score. And we scored a touchdown in a later drive because of those same type of decisions. those are all things that we look at, and all things that you trust your gut. You got to trust what you see and what you believe you're going to get. And then, yes, we do have to go out there and be able to properly execute. And we were able to do that at times. But on the flip side of it, obviously that was a bad situation where we missed out on opportunities for an opportunity for points.
All right, we'll go back a row to Peter.
Coach, this first time FSU will be playing SMU, but you having a familiarity with the team from back in time when you coach at Memphis. What usually would be preparation when going against this SMU team, and also thoughts about having to go back to your common grounds in the Dallas area that you grew up?
Well, I've got a lot of respect for this coaching staff, the team. It's a lot of new faces from whenever I had coached against them at previous places, but it's a good football team. I mean, it's one that they've got explosive playmakers. They've got dynamic quarterback. I think one of the best tight ends that we've played against. They've got guys that you get them the ball in space, they can make things happen. Defensively, they're going to be very aggressive in what they do. This is a team that can present a lot of challenges, and we're going to have to go and we're going to play better than what we've played. And we got to go on the road, and it's going to be a great atmosphere for them. And I just want to see our team just continue to go and get better. And, obviously, I am from the Metroplex, and, I've been played enough games, going back there, at previous places. So it's nothing new, and we got a couple guys from the Dallas area that I know they're excited about, getting a chance to go play in front of their family and friends. So, look forward to seeing them play well.
We'll go to Corey.
On the Edwin Joseph play, the referee said after the play, personal foul after the play, but wasn't it happening?
There was nothing after the play.
Right, correct. It was during the play. All right. So anyway, that wasn't my question. I was just.
I got pretty far on the field. I got pretty close on that one.
So when you're through 4 games and you've only scored 60 points as a team, clearly not anywhere close to what you're expecting or wanting, is there a temptation to make drastic changes to your offense, maybe to the personnel, to the way you're calling things? Where is that temptation, and are there drastic changes that can even be made at this point?
It's all things. Every part of it is evaluated, and that's you look at what can we do to be better, because we have to be better. And there's no question about it. And if it takes drastic changes, we're going to figure it out. And because we are going to continue to work, continue to get better. But there's been, through those first 4 games, there's not just one thing, and that's where ultimately, like, it's a bunch of small things that that show up where we have to grow and we have to be better. And coming into the year, there's areas of strengths, areas of wanting to see it in action, to how it's going to play, what it's going to be. There's a lot of work that goes into it. A lot of work that's out there on the practice field. A lot of work in studying, game planning, prepping for trying to put our guys in the best position. And you have to evaluate it all. Sometimes it's a personnel that, if we need to do this or we need to do that, or put this guy in this position or that guy in another position. Those are all things that you've got to evaluate, and but it still comes down, to making sure that it's what's best. Now, 4 games in, we've not done a good enough job offensively. That's very clear, and so we have to get better. And so we're going to continue to evaluate all parts of what we do, what we're asking them to do. Who's doing what, and then it's got to show up on the game to go be better, because it's a necessity for this football team. And ultimately that's my job in making sure that I'm helping put the right guys in the right place to go out there and be successful on game day.
All right, last one. We'll go to Matt, back row on the right.
You talked about all the players who are from the DFW area getting to see, have family come and see them play. You've also talked before about how important that direct flight from Tallahassee to Dallas is for recruiting. How cool is it now that the kids in the Dallas area have an opportunity to actually see Florida State play 32 minutes to an hour from home?
No, I mean I think it's great. You know, when SMU came into the league, you know that was that is one of those underlying benefits of you know knowing that you know with the direct flight, you know with the guys that we have and have recruited here to Florida State. I mean it's a great tie for us, and you know those guys knowing that they also get a chance to play in the Metroplex at least every few years. I think is a great benefit, and like I said, they're excited, and I think it's just it's wonderful for our brand to be there and get a chance to for all the Florida State fans in the Metroplex to be able to come out and come see the Noles.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you guys.
Thanks.